guys! Welcome to our channel. Kamusta kayo? Well, it's starting to get so cold here, but we are also getting closer to the opening of the border, which is on July 31, 2022. That is when the border of New Zealand will fully open. Excited na ba kayo? Mga kachichi, meron akong itatanong sa inyo. When was the last time you've traveled overseas? Natatandaan niyo pa ba? Or medyo matagal-tagal na? Well, if you've got New Zealand on your bucket list, you are in the right spot because our vlog for today is about the New Zealand visitor visa. There's a lot of people asking me how they can come here to New Zealand, and normally they will ask about work. However, I think for you to know if you are suitable to live in one place, it is important for you to visit and travel. Siyempre, importante maging familiar kayo sa cost of living sa place na yon, yung environment, yung culture. Kasi if you get to travel, then somehow you see a picture of how it is to live in that country, hindi ba? Kaya kung New Zealand ang kinoconsider ninyong place to be to migrate, you may want to give it a shot to visit. At the end of this vlog, you will be more familiar on how you can make your way to get that visitor visa to see New Zealand. And of course, I'll be sharing with you our personal experience when our families have applied for this type of visa. Kaya dyan lang kayo. Intro muna tayo. For those of you who are new, welcome to my channel. My name is Chichi and I do share informative videos related to Immigration New Zealand, and I do share our life experiences here as well. If you have subscribed, thank you very much. Maraming salamat po. And if you haven't, it's not too late. Just click on that subscribe button so you'll be on the know on what's happening in our lives and here in New Zealand. Disclaimer lang po, all that I will be sharing is based on my personal understanding upon reading the visitor visa guide from Immigration New Zealand's website. And I would still suggest for you to do your own research with regards to this visa if may mga katanungan man kayo. There's lots of information in Google, but make sure that you also go to a reliable website. Who can apply for a visitor visa? Technically, kahit sino naman pwedeng mag-apply ng visitor visa. But there are requirements that you would need to meet for you to be granted your ticket to get in. My exemptions then. Australian citizens and other overseas travelers may not be required to have a visa. Instead, they might need to have NZETA. I won't be covering that part here in my vlog, but if you go and visit Immigration New Zealand's website, you'll get to know more about NZETA. Why would you want to get that visitor visa? Well, if you get granted with this visa, you may visit New Zealand as a tourist. You may visit New Zealand to see your family and friends. You may visit New Zealand to marry. You may visit New Zealand to play sport or perform in a cultural event without pay. Clearly without pay, dahil pag with pay po, that is considered as work. Then, if it's work, then you should have a work visa. And lastly, you may undertake a short-term study. There are two types of visitor visa. There is general and limited. What's the difference? The general visitor visa is a multiple entry visa, which is usually granted to those who have been frequently traveling here. A condition of this visa is you shouldn't be in New Zealand for more than 9 months in the last 18 months to be granted with this type of visa. With limited visa particularly, this is given to applicants to achieve an express purpose. For example, we had our family come over here. Their main purpose was to attend our wedding. They were given a limited visa instead of a general one. Unfortunately, with the limited visitor visa, you may not apply for another visa type if you are a holder of this type of visa. However, this may be extended if you would need more time to achieve your express purpose. Fortunately, with this visa, if you have been granted, you may work for a recognized seasonal employer. Who can you include in your application? Your partner, and your dependent children. You will be considered to be a partner if you have been married, if you are in civil union, and if you are in a de facto relationship, meaning magka-live-in. But just a reminder guys, isang partner lang ha. Now, with your dependent children, they must be 19 years old and below. And if they happen to be 18 to 19 years old, they need to be single with no children. And they should be substantially or fully financially dependent on you or on your partner. How long can you stay in New Zealand with a visitor visa? The maximum length of time you may stay in New Zealand is 9 months. But if you have been abiding and if you are able to prove that you have supported yourself on your own financially, then you may be extended up to 3 months. If you have been pretty much ready to make an application, it is the time for you to decide whether to submit it online or paper-based. They have been recommending submitting an application online because it doesn't take much of your time. It must be just around 15 minutes for you to fill it up. While with paper-based, you would need to submit your application with original documents. Your paper-based application may be submitted in your nearest Immigration New Zealand office or visa application center near you. Just a reminder, if you'll be doing it paper-based, you must fill in INZ form 1107. That is the visitor visa application form. Now let's get into details on how to complete your application form. You would need a valid passport, and your passport should be valid at least 3 months after leaving New Zealand. If your departure date from New Zealand is June 2, then your validity of your passport should be from September 2 and later. Also, you would need to submit 2 photographs in quality color of 45 millimeters by 35 millimeters size. Now let's talk about the health section of the application form. The General Medical Certificate and the Chest X-ray Certificate. General Medical Certificate is form 1007 and the Chest X-ray Certificate is 1096. Those are the codes for the forms, guys. If you will be traveling to New Zealand and will be staying for only less than 60 days, you would not need to submit this requirement. Ibig sabihin, hindi po required, hindi po kailangan magpa-medical certificate at magpa-chest x-ray. Now, if you will be staying in New Zealand between 6 to 12 months, you may be required a chest x-ray certificate. Your country is not listed in this box. This box shows countries of low incidence of tuberculosis. Then definitely you would need to submit a chest x-ray certificate, which should not be 3 months older. And if you'll be staying here for 12 months and above, definitely you would need to submit a general medical certificate form and also a chest x-ray certificate, which, remember, should not be older than 3 months. Though there is always an exception to the rule, if in case your immigration officer requires you to provide those, even if, in that situation na pwedeng hindi naman kayo mag-provide, you just need to provide it as required. Also, for children 11 years and below and for pregnant women, they are not required to submit a chest x-ray unless a special report is needed. Also, when it comes to health, if someone or if it's you who is intending to travel and is pregnant, you should be able to show an evidence that you are eligible to publicly funded maternity services. And if not, you must have at least 9,000 New Zealand dollars in your account. So later on, I will be talking more about financial evidences. But for now, yan po muna ang mga information with regards health. And another important thing is your proof of good character. Usually from the Philippines, ang hinihingi po ay ang NBI clearance, and make sure that it has been requested just in the last 6 months. The latest, the better. Meron ding tinatawag na police clearance sa atin, which you can submit together with your application. Money talk na tayo, guys. Okay, let's talk about financial support during your travel. Magkano nga bang kailangan yung bitbit? Magkano ba ang kailangan yung money? Now, if you've been lucky and you do have a sponsor, please make sure that you ask your sponsor to fill in sponsorship form for temporary entry. That is INZ form 1025. So whatever evidences or proof that may be required on the form, please make sure that you submit those as well. If in case walang sponsor, each person included in the application should have at least 1,000 New Zealand dollars per month. If in case accommodation has been paid for, each person included in the application must have at least $400 per month. And of course, as always, evidence, evidence, evidence. Kailangan pong ipakita ninyo ang evidence ng inyong booking. For example, nag-book kayo ng hotel. And in our case, ang ginawa po namin, since we had our family to stay where we are renting, what I did was to ask permission from our landlord if we can have our family stay in the house. And then pumayag naman, gumawa ako ng letter, and I've asked my landlord to sign, which our families have included with their application. So parang yun na yung proof na meron silang accommodation dito and na hindi nila kailangan magbayad ng accommodation nila. Kasi titira sila sa family nila na nandito na sa New Zealand. So if in case you've got any family or friends here in New Zealand, it would be better if you can stay with them during your holiday para bawas na yung required na money when you travel here. And of course, make sure you've got your evidence of onward travel arrangements submitted para may proof na hindi kayo magsistay dito sa New Zealand illegally and you will be leaving the country before your visa expires. What sort of evidences does Immigration New Zealand accept to prove your funds? One is a bank statement under your name. Second is a credit card with your name on it. And make sure na merong available funds in it. And for dependent children, they must provide a copy or evidence of their parents' salary or wages. Kasi yung parents ang mag-sponsor sa stay ng children nila while on travel. Evidences of your onward travel naman, pwede yung actual ticket ninyo, either confirmed or open-dated, or pwede rin kayong mag-submit ng letter from the airline or an agency, specifically travel agency, kung saan or nagsistate na nag-book na kayo and nabayaran na ninyo yung mga tickets na yun. Speaking from our own experience, ang ginawa namin was to help our relatives in a way that I have composed a cover letter which they have included in their application. Remember guys, when you make an application for a visitor visa or kahit anong visa pa yan, your goal is to convince your immigration officer that your intentions are genuine and real. When they assess your application, they will be looking at different factors. For example, yung family ties ninyo dito sa New Zealand, or pwede din kung may friends kayo dito sa New Zealand. Also, yung situation ninyo back home, are you employed? Mga things like that. And based on our experience, what we did was, for those visitors who are working age, pinag-submit namin sila ng certificate of employment nila. Also, yung leave form. Sinuggest namin na i-submit yon as proof na babalik talaga sila sa Philippines. Another thing is we've helped our families by writing a cover letter stating that they will be coming here and that we will be supporting their accommodation. Oh, another thing that we did was to submit our tenancy agreement. So, proof na yung address na ito, dito sila titira, para yun din yung isusulat nila sa arrival card nila. Finally, let's talk about the fees. Magkano nga bang mag-visit sa New Zealand? Mahal ba? Magkano babayaran ko? Dollars ba? Peso ba? Now, let's compare the fees on online versus paper-based application. What I did was to go on the website and play around with the options. So, the figures I'll be giving to you guys are based on just one person traveling from the Philippines, applying from the Philippines, and traveling from the Philippines. I think this is one reason they have been recommending the online application, because it is not just quick, but also cheaper. If you will be applying from the Philippines and will be traveling from the Philippines, just one person, from Manila or Cebu, application po ito, you will be charged 246 New Zealand dollars for an online application. While if you will be submitting your application paper-based, you will be charged 8,840 pesos. And it goes the same with the receiving center fee. It is cheaper if you are going online than paper-based route. Pag online po, it's only 830 pesos. But if you're going through paper-based application, it will charge you 1,100 pesos. And before I forget, if you are traveling to New Zealand for less than 60 days, then you wouldn't need to pay any application fee. Also, trinay kong i-change yung option from 1 person to 2 person traveling. So the prices definitely change, but not too significant. You can try it online. Just go to the website. So here's the link, which I'll be putting in the description box as well for your reference. If in case you have arranged yourself to pick up your documents, then you would not need to pay a courier fee. But if you would like it to be delivered, the charge would be around 380 pesos up to 600 pesos. That's it for today, mga kachichi. Maraming salamat po for watching my video. I hope you were able to get to know more about applying the visitor visa here in New Zealand. Please don't forget to comment, chikahan tayo, and also to share this video. Have a great day, everyone. Take care. Bye.